Hi guys, hope you're doing well. Welcome back to another stream. Hi Ellie and Drac as well. Good to see you. Hi Platinum, good to see you. So yeah, today we're going to do some more Phantasy Star III. Hopefully get a bit further through Frigidia, and hopefully a decent way through 3rd gen as well. Or at least for the first part of 3rd gen anyway. Just before I get started, how does the volume for the game sound? Because my PC updated overnight and seems to have more or less screwed up all the audio settings completely. So I've tried to set it back to normal, but yeah, let me know if it's too loud or too quiet or anything. Seems fine to me, cool. Quite quiet. It's really weird because basically since this update happened, if I watch anything like YouTube or anything, that's fine. But if I watch Twitch, every stream I've watched on Twitch has been really quiet. So I don't know if Twitch has done something as well. Yeah, it's slightly annoying. SectionSkyly. Xanta's good people of the internet. Are we doing alright, Jokey? So let's get this guide up and see where we actually are. So I think last time we more or less got to... We unlocked Lyre, and we got to Frigidia. Seems okay for you, Drac, as well, okay. A bit low, but the music gets repetitive. I can put it up slightly. Right, that's a little bit louder. Is that any better? Nice guy, not caught one of these live in a while. It's still generating some doom. I am still generating some doom. We're in the 3rd generation now, so we are making some progress. Playing some PSO before work and give away more low res to noobs. That's good. I'm sure that you appreciate it. It's always good to, you know, give away stuff to people who need it. So yeah, so last time we arrived in this new region, which is Frigidia. Call that because it's quite frigid, apparently. Although, well, apparently everywhere apart from this town. And essentially what happened last time, if you missed it, was Lyre, who is this one at the back, she joined us, and she explained that she's the sister of Lyre from the story. And she saw her sister disappear with a man with a sword, and wants to know what's happened to her. And we think the man with the sword is probably Arakio. So let's just ask around this town. At last, we have waited centuries for Lyre's kin to reach Mistoke, the Castle of Silence. I think we spoke to these last time. Much will be revealed within Mistoke Castle. Use the Lyre pendant to hear Lyre's final words. Have they built an Eden project around the town? Kinda looks like it. Then journey to Aeron, south of Divisia. Hurry, enter the castle of Mistoke. It's time for the law. I think the bigger law drop is after this, though. You will be tested within the castle gates. If you pass the tests, Lyre's pendant is yours. All the doors to her palace will open to you. I think it did say in the guide that while I'm here, I do need to buy something. Let's have a look. So it says, buy Lyre a laser bow. I can't remember if we did that last time. I think we did, actually. No, she's still got a ceramic bow. Alright, let's get this bow for Lyre then. You met someone to redo your profile picture to look better. Oh, nice. Elizabeth is 11,000. That's not too bad at all, really. That's a little better. She's still got really low health, but... Okay, so everyone seems very keen for me going into the castle. So I guess we go into the castle. Apologies if you can hear a car alarm outside. Okay, so we have found castle. So I'm guessing that the test is that maybe this is like a maze. Oh, there's fights here as well. With Mechman. They do 25 damage. That's actually quite scary. No one told me there'll be fights here. I am interested as to why it's called the Castle of Silence. I mean, those things die pretty quickly, but they do quite a lot of damage. Which is something I've noticed recently. There was an enemy last stream that more or less one-shot us, but I could kill it really easily. Okay, yeah, I'm noticing a lot of staircases in this castle. I'm really hoping we don't have to deal with it too much. Hey, miss, good to see you. I tested how hard that dinosaur hits and I hacked a max level Chris's HP to be 999 and he took 700 damage. Then I hacked his HP to be 2000 and with no armor, Chris took 1052 damage. That's gotta be a coding issue, surely, because there's no way that that enemy is meant to do that much damage. I love how they attack by clenching the fist that has no weapon. Yeah, you know, instead of actually, you know, using the hand that has a weapon in it. I think we've established with this game now that not a lot of attention was paid to it in that regard. Yeah, I'm not surprised then, Vintage Gamer, that the dinosaur things one-shot me. I do wonder though why they hit that hard. It sounds massively overtuned. Alright, so apparently we're going to get a fight every 2 steps. Attack with my sword? Absolute madness. Okay, yeah, I think I see what the test is in this place. I like how we have Mechman and Roboman just to distinguish them, you know? Yeah, I'm wondering if they programmed it wrong or something, because it seems really odd for one enemy. For a normal enemy as well, it's not even as if it's a boss or anything. It's a normal enemy. But to do that much damage seems really odd. I think we go up here. I do like how the fight background bears no resemblance to where we actually are. Just while we're getting through this, for anyone who didn't see, the latest episode of the Arc Lounge podcast went live yesterday with Zeomantic and Kathy. So that's over on Kathy's channel if you want to watch it. Oh, so we have Mech Man, Robo Man, and now we've got Droid Man. It's really weird, but there's 3 different versions, but none of them seem any harder than the others. They just seem exactly the same. Maybe they hit harder or something. So I guess we have to go this way. At least it's not Man-Man. No, Man-Man might be later. It's kind of a shame about the animations, because some of the enemy designs are actually quite interesting, but then they just don't really animate much at all. Also, we can get around that. That's very sneaky, because that looks like you can't get around it. So I believe we go down this one here. I mean, the bird things are just not an issue. We're one-shotting them with pretty much anyone. So there's quite a lot of questions with the game at the minute. So obviously we've got Liar in our party. She's told us that she's the sister, or like the younger sister of the Liar that's mentioned in the story. As for whether I believe that, I am skeptical. Okay, I'm not wasting a good arrestor, so you can just use a arrestor on yourself. Yeah, these bird things have no defense whatsoever. We're doing like 800 damage to them. Again, if anyone might watch for a bit, the plan is, once we finish 3, is to go straight onto Phantasy Star 4. So I kind of want 3 out the way as fast as possible. I am going to play it out, all the way, because I want to give it its fair due, but I do also want to play 4 a lot. Okay, so I assume we go down here. Okay, so we apparently go left first, and then up. Oh god, we got these things back. I don't like these because they spam Grant, or Gra. It hits everyone in the party. I don't appreciate that. There you go, good to see you. we're just at Mistoke Castle in Frigidia. It's apparently meant to be algae. They still don't really look like anything to me, honestly. But if they're meant to be algae, we'll go with algae. It is a little easy now because we do have Laia in our party who can act as like a backup healer. So we do have kind of 2 healers now. It does also look like a mouldy hash brown, it does. Okay, so we go left and I know we have to go up, obviously. We'll go left at the end to a stairway. It's kind of weird. We're basically doing an absolute ton of damage, but we can't really take any hits. It just kind of feels like that's how the game is, that you just inherently do a lot of damage and don't have much health. It looks like flakes off a wall to you, Gob. It's something, alright. And only those Robo Men are kind of resistant to melee damage by the looks of things. We still kill them pretty quickly, but... Okay, so yeah, that's track so far. Exit and go down the other stairs. I assume you mean those ones. So they're the only ones we can do. We really need that Pulse Vulcan for Ren to let him hit everyone again. Because he's struggling a bit at the minute. He's basically carried us through most of the game, but he is maybe our weakest member at the minute. I guess Laia doesn't do that much damage, but at least she can heal. So yeah, he needs an upgrade. Although he's doing full damage against those robots, so that helps. Okay, so we are back in. Do this a few times until you can go down. Okay, I see what we're doing. I mean, even the name of that enemy really gives nothing away. They're literally just called Splatter. What is this Ren slander? Oh, Ren is amazing. It's just that at the minute, he hasn't had a weapon upgrade for a while. And the other characters have just had a weapon upgrade recently. So at the minute, his damage is a bit behind. Although on enemies like this guy on the left, he is doing more damage. I mean, to be fair, you know, the guy did carry me through pretty much all of Gen 1 and Gen 2, and most of Gen 3 so far. And he just leveled, so... So I assume we're going this way. Go down and go into the area going right. I assume you're in here. We get through the fights pretty quickly overall. I'm just like instinctively saving it before I open any chests in this now, because I'm expecting Dark Falls to pop out of one. That was not Dark Falls, that was a Triumet. So I'm assuming it's at these stairs here. Okay. It says go right and take a lower hallway. Does it mean this one? I think this may be where we look at a map. Also, Liar is on very low health and that scares me. Right, Mew is pretty quick, so hopefully she can get a Garester off in time. And I will also have Liar do it as well, just in case she gets to go first. Nice. I love how Chris is level 6 while the others are like 35 to 45. Yeah, and the funny thing is that Liar, we got her at level 1, but she levels so fast. Where Chris levels incredibly slow. Again, I really don't know why they did the leveling system the way they did in this. It's very weird. There we go, we should be fine now. I guess maybe they wanted you to just be able to use the characters as you got them rather than having to grind like it did in Phantasy Star 2, but the whole leveling thing's very weird at that point then. Oh yeah, the encounter rate is very high. I mean, the encounter rate might be higher than usual with me having increased movement speed. I'm not sure if that affects it. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull a map up for this because I really don't want to be here too long, to be blunt. So this place is Mist Oak Dungeon. Now I've got to figure out where I am on this map. Ah, okay, I think I see it actually. So I think I just keep going right. Yeah, and then we take the lower stairs apparently. Yeah, I know a lot of old JRPGs like this do have very, very excessive encounter rates. I guess maybe the idea behind it was to make you play longer and kind of pad the game out more. But it is a little annoying sometimes. I think you notice it more in this as well because there isn't that much variety in the enemies. In this area anyway. Okay, so apparently we take these losses. Okay, we have reached throne room. You just had to throw a fight in just because of my curiosity to check the throne. I think Chris's story is the longest Gen 3 story. 2 of the other guys just completely skipped the Part 1 section of Gen 3 and go to Part 2 immediately, with 5 pipe members almost out the gate. I mean, I don't really mind. I mean, again, maybe at some point I will go back and do the other paths that you can do in this game. I'm kind of happy with how things have gone for the most part, because I just wanted a general first experience of the game, so I wasn't really too bothered about which path I went on. Found Liar's Pendant. Okay, that's probably quite useful. Nothing unusual here apart from an empty throne. So I guess we just escape out now because there's nowhere else we can go. This is where we really hope we got an escape. I'm sure I bought more than one. Yeah. Thank God. Okay, so we've got Liar's Pendant. So I guess we'll go and heal first. Fair Sun is the longest path. I know on this guide I'm using, it did look like there was, obviously there's 4 different paths for the final generation because you've got 2 possible previous paths and then 2 life options at the end of each one. It did look like, I think there was 2 of them that did look significantly shorter. I think they were split into like 2 sections, and then Chris's and one other one were 3 sections, which I'm assuming is Sean's. I haven't really looked into the paths though. Okay, so if you want a little more lore, use Liar's Pendant. I mean, I do love the lore. Let's do that. See if I find whose inventory it went into. Ren's. A voice rings out for all of you to hear. Sister, it is time for you to know the truth. Though Arakio and I have fought for many years, we finally realised that we've been deceived. I think I maybe see where this is going. Maybe. An evil force from times beyond legend is using us to satisfy its desire for pain and suffering. Would that evil force be Dark Force by any chance? Dark Force is hiding. We are joining forces to fight this ancient evil. In case we never return, I leave you the pendant. You will hear this when you're ready. Goodbye. The way that's phrased, it almost sounds like she's saying, like, you'll hear goodbye when you're ready. Yeah, I'm assuming it's Dark Falls or Dark Force or whatever it's called in this game. I'm assuming it's in here. But actually, we know it's in here because I think it was in Gen 1 when you sail over the sea. There was like a temple under the sea, and they stopped deliberately and said, oh yeah, by the way, Dark Force is there. So it was kind of obvious that it was going to lead back to Dark Force. I mean, it's Phantasy Star, of course it does. Well, thanks for that, Liar. Yeah, they just kind of drop it right at the start, don't they? They just go, oh yeah, by the way, Dark Falls, you know, horrible, evil entities just kind of sleeping in that palace under the sea, you know? We just kind of leave it there. Okay, so now, according to this, apparently now because we've got Liar's Pendant, we can now use the temples on the map to warp around instead of going through the passageways. Dark Falls under a lake, like NGS? I'm telling you, man, NGS is massively influenced by this game. This game is just NGS. I wonder if there was as many haters of this back in the day as there is for NGS now, though. Japanese version just refers to him as an evil power. Okay. What name for it do you prefer? Dark Falls, Dark Force, or Dark Phallus? Not Dark Phallus. I get why people call it that, because it's like, I think in Japanese it's like Darku, and then it's like Fuarasu. I think for me, it'll always be Dark Falls just because I started with PSO. Yeah, also, having like your big evil endgame boss called Dark Phallus isn't the most intimidating thing in the world, or maybe it is. Okay, so did we actually rest? We did. Well, we're on to the next page of the guide, so we're getting somewhere. So I think we're now on the second part of Gen 3. Okay, so it's telling me I've got a long walk. It's not actually telling me where I need to go, but... Hey, Laurent. Okay, so apparently we're heading south from Mistook and heading west to a lake. It does sound like it's walking time. I mean, it was going to happen. Okay, so yeah, so we're going west. At the end of the lake, head north, weave around the mountains and enter a temple. Make sure the temple is on the northwest corner of the world. This sounds like map time to me. Give me an overworld map with labels. Thank you. Right, where are we going? Okay, so there are a lot of temples I can choose from. Is there any particular one you would like me to go to? Okay, we want to go to Elysium apparently. So Elysium. Yeah, there is a temple right at the northwest. That is a very long walk. That is an extremely long walk. We're gonna get so many fights. Okay. Yeah, the rest of the stream is now just going to be me walking to the next area. The first Elysium mentioned in the series could be. I mean, I guess Elysium is kind of... I guess it's like an alternate spelling, really, of Elysium, isn't it? So, really funny thing is, the weapon camo for PSO Elysium in NGS is called Elysium. It's almost like the loop back round. Although I have a feeling with NGS, I think the reason they've done it is because there was also a sword in PSU called Elysium, which is also a weapon camo in NGS. So I guess they couldn't have two weapon camos called the same name, maybe? Yeah, I know Elysium is like it's like an ancient legend, isn't it? I think it's meant to essentially be paradise, I think. If memory serves. I have noticed with this game that they tend to put like the most damaging enemies at the back, so you have to get through the front line first unless you've got some guns that can hit the back line. Okay, this is going to be a very long walk, and I'm constantly going to have to reference the map because it's a very complicated path as well. Okay, so basically just head as far west as I can possibly go. Yeah, I will say I think the story for this is actually remotely interesting. I know the game has its faults for sure, but I think the story honestly isn't too bad. From what we've done so far anyway. I mean, it was always going to loop back around to Dark Falls, because of course it does. And I swear, if Dark Falls and this has the same BS mechanic as Phantasy Star II, I swear to God. Okay, so we just follow this. I do like how they say, okay, you can use all these teleporters now, you know, to make your journeys easier, but to get to the teleporter, you've got to walk really far. I think he's on the weaker side, honestly. At least not as frustrating as 2. That's the thing about 2. I mean, the actual fight itself, he didn't really do a huge amount of damage. I mean, it was kind of manageable damage. It was just that mechanic that he used with the cursing that just made it super irritating. You know, I think Dark Falls always has to have some kind of irritating mechanic though. You know, lest we talk about the Rabata spam in PSO. This is going to take so long. And again, as a reminder, this is with double movement speed. My favourite Dark Falls mechanic is the meatball from PSU. See, I like the meatball meteor in PSP 2 because at least in that you can actually block. So you can parry it and feel like a god. I still think it was kind of disappointing in PSU though. They essentially just made him a reskin of Durole and then Dugfacus. Yeah, I'm not sure if you can evade it in PSU. When I played on the Sega servers, I mainly played a Beast Fighter, so the evade was not a strong point. I think now would be a good time to revert to normal walking speed for this segment. We'll get 2 extra streams out of it. I seriously, I don't think I could have gone through this game without the double walk speed. It was brutal. Okay, so now there's a big maze of mountains we need to walk through because, you know, it wasn't complicated enough. Oh yeah, I forgot that those are just huge for no reason. Well, I think she was called Amazon actually, if I remember correctly, so I guess there is a reason for it. Those rappies are actually quite strong. Kind of reminds me of the sand rappies in Blue Burst when you first get to Ultimate Ebb 4. And you just get one shot by them. I literally went 2 steps. Ah, yeah, I forgot about those guys. That Rappy just did 30 damage. It's really weird, it kind of feels like the enemies are doing quite a lot of damage now, but they also die really quickly. It's very weird balancing. Also, I'm doing the hydrate now because I totally forgot to do it. You go to the lake and you realise that the shadow figure in NGS headline was not PSO Rappy, it was Dark Falls Sherpa. We were talking about this on my Alliance, NGS Alliance Discord earlier about sort of Dark Falls Rappies. And I was like, well, we've had a dark rappy before, so I showed a picture of a Del rappy. It was quite funny seeing people's reaction to it because they'd clearly not played PSOBB. Or PSOEP 3 for that matter, because Del rappy is in that as well. Yeah, I think we just cut through here. Showed them a fat sand rappy. I showed them a fat Del rappy. Yeah, sand rappies are cute. Yeah, I like sand rappies. PSU, been sort of bitten on getting into it because I only played Ambition of the Luminous on PS2, never online. Did play the PSP one, but that was off an emulator. Yeah, PSP, so Phantasy Star Portable. Confusingly, PSP on the PSP. That game is kind of like a cut down version of PSU, I guess. The mix of enemies throws me off, there's no theme. Yeah, it's weird. So we started the game fighting monsters, then we switched over to fighting robots. Now we're kind of fighting a mix of both. Yeah, I have no idea, Drac, why the sand droppies hit so hard. Maybe it is all a hallucination. It certainly feels like it. Yeah, Phantasy Star III, Hallucinations of Doom. You have a fireball, a genie, a metal rappy, and an Amazoness in the same encounter. We do. Well, the good news is we are almost there. We are almost where we need to be. Kind of. Yeah, I get what you mean, Miss. I mean, quite often you'll have kind of a theme to the enemies in an area. It does feel, once you get to Gen 3, they just kind of throw anything at you. Maybe that's intentional. I guess in Gen 1, we were kind of on the side of Arachio, so we were fighting a lot of Liar's monsters. And then Gen 2, we kind of defected over to Liar, so we were fighting a lot of Arachio's machines, so it kind of made sense. Maybe it's because Arachio and Liar have allied with each other now? And maybe Dark Falls is actually controlling all the stuff. Wouldn't be the first time. Okay, so we want to go up here. So that's the passageway, so we could go through there and get the same place, but it would involve going through that passageway. Alternatively, we can go along here. And I think this is the right temple. Yes, it is. Cool. So now that we've got Liar's Pendant, we can use these temples, which actually allow us to teleport. Of course, before that, we get into the fight. Yeah, I've just seen the Amazon animation. I mean, I would say I'm underwhelmed, but it's kind of a running theme with this game now. The crazy thing is, it's not that the team making this couldn't do animations well, because from what I understand, it was mainly the Golden Axe team that did this, and Golden Axe has some, relatively decent animation in it, if you play it. Okay, let's just hit another Garesta. So last time we went in one of these, we got kicked out. I said it last time, but I do really like the music in these temples. Sounds really creepy, but yeah, I actually really like this. Yeah, that's it, missed it. The enemies kind of don't animate, they just kind of twitch a little bit. It is weird. Liar's Pendant glows and darkness envelops you. So this should bring us to Elysium. So it now means we more or less never have to use those passageways again. Okay, so now we are in Elysium. I know there was a place we had to go to. Because if memory serves, we were looking for... There was like a pilot or something that we were trying to find. Which I think is so that we can get to where Siren is, because if you remember, Siren is trying to basically send this entire place, which is a spaceship, into the sun. Which we don't want to happen. Okay, so we need to head northwest and go to the town of Eron. How northwest are we talking here? That's not too bad. It's actually easier to go north and then follow this. Ah, it's good to see these guys back again, accompanied by a flank of Star U. I think the lack of attack animations is due to all the other stuff they put in the game. I mean, I guess one way to think of it is, I suppose the game is like 3 entire generations, and I suppose there's actually more than that because there are several split paths you can take, so I guess there is quite a lot of content in the cartridge, really. So yeah, maybe they had to cut back on some things. A few people in the world right now, I wouldn't mind being shot into the sun. Yeah, I mean, I'd rather not our party get shot into the sun. That seems like a bad thing. Okay, so there are 2 temples there. I'm assuming this is Eron. Just save before we go in. Go first. As we do with every town, we'll talk to some of the people. Welcome to Eron. I don't know if it's Eron or Erona. The last home of the pilots. East on this path leads to the moon Dahlia. East on this path leads to the moon Dahlia. How does that even make sense? Because we're on a spaceship. How would us going east just head to the moon? Maybe that's a bit lost in translation, or maybe I'm misunderstanding that. Or does it mean east on the path that the spaceship is going on? It's just the way that it's phrased makes it sound like if you walk east from here, you'll go to the moon. Siren has made our world veer towards the sun. We'll all die unless we can change our course soon. I mean, I am trying to prevent that. You do realise this. Maybe east is the teleporter. Yeah, that would make more sense. I do know that Phantasy Star III is kind of notoriously not particularly well translated to English. I know there is a retranslation patch for it. The reason I didn't go for it is because I wasn't sure if it changed anything with the story. Sometimes with retranslation patches, the authors can kind of put their own ideas into it a little bit. And I wanted to get like, the genuine experience of what the game's meant to be like. From what I understand, I think the retranslation for this is actually meant to be really good. But I wanted to kind of experience what it's like. Yeah, there are some parts in the dialogue that just don't really make much sense. We're heading right for the sun. Do something. What else are you doing anything? We're trying to get off our collision course, but there's something opposing our efforts. I'm going to guess probably Siren. New generation. This is the 3rd generation picker. So we basically more or less started it. I think we started it last stream. Phantasy Star 4's retranslation is really good too, in my opinion. Okay. I'm not sure what the base dialogue is like for that. I know 3 is kind of notoriously known for being not great. Okay, so what I've established from being here is that people probably don't want to be fired into the sun. Full dialogue is fine, okay. Okay, so yeah, it just says rest up here and then go east, so... Aside from some typos, maybe what's that fix? Yeah, I think this definitely seems worse. I mean, again, I haven't really tried 4, so... Yeah, for this, I mean, some of it seems fine. It's just now and again you'll get a dialogue line that just doesn't really read right. Or just is phrased a bit strange. Or is just over dramatic for no reason, you know, such as, you know, our friend Lyle just, you know, dying of cringe and pacing out. Okay, so Nice just completely hidden. I mean, they weren't lying when they said the east path it goes to the moon. But I thought there'd be some indicator that there was something here. Okay, so rest up and walk on the pathway going east. This will take you to the next area. Go up and then at the end go left. They didn't lie, no they didn't. There is a box there. Of course there's fights. I also like how we unlock the ability to transport to different parts of regions so we don't have to go through these passageways anymore. And then the game just goes, actually, I'm just going to throw another one at you anyway. Okay, what's in the box? Again, we're checking the saving first because we don't want to let Dark Falls out of a box. Monomate, brilliant. Thanks for that. Oh. Well. Majestic. Absolutely majestic. It was Dark Falls that dropped a monomate like usual. Time for this song again. Yeah, I believe this song we had to actually turn the game down because for some reason this song was incredibly loud. I have turned it down slightly. I don't know why this one song is louder than everything else in the game. I think it's just because it's very harsh instrumentally. I do kind of like the song, but yeah, it does also repeat very quickly. Okay, so we're now on the moon Dahlia. It was certainly a ship transition, it was. I have no idea where I'm going. Well, it's not that way. Oh, there's people. I see people. Not this way, though. Be warned, strangers. Loon is very depressed. Okay, that kind of came out of nowhere. Also, wasn't Loon the guy that was, like, sending an army of monsters? So at this point, why would I be that bothered that he's depressed? Although I guess maybe he was in to fight Liar. Down the stairs are the aero parts for the Wren. Aero party say, so I'm going to assume that's going to let me use all those runways that are scattered around the map. Get him some antidepressants. Use them to reach the Sky City on Frigidia. Sky City? Yeah, Ren literally about to carry the party. There you may find the strength to combat evil. Also, yeah, Sky City. Yeah, and the Ren. I guess maybe he said the Ren because Ren is kind of like a model number, or like a model type. The aero parts for that Ren, so it's now that Ren, are in the dungeon. Yeah, we've established that. So this is Allaire. I'm Allaire, Loon's sister. I've also been frozen in a cryogenics pod for 1,000 years. Stop. We do not mention that. When I woke up, I was kidnapped by Iraqians. Wait, so you woke up, got kidnapped by Iraqians, Mai got kidnapped by lions. So what we're saying is we're all the same. Of course, that made my brother more furious. Yes, we were the ones who destroyed Saterra. But we're not behind the recent monster attacks. We hope you can forgive us for our past errors. I'd probably go with past sins rather than past errors. Errors a bit mild. Yeah, last gen we did go to the moon. There's like 2 different moons. We went to one last gen and we're on another one now. But it was just for a little bit. It's been sci-fi for a little bit as well, Pika, because we now know that all of the areas that we've been going to are on a spaceship. If Sky picked the other wife, Gen 3 would have started on that moon, but it's only for that playthrough start. Okay. So this is Kara. Father's too weak to fight. I must do it. Father, please lend me your loon slicer. Kara joins your pie. Okay, I don't have a choice in the matter, I guess. I mean, I'm seeing slicer. Is she the Anna of Phantasy Star 3? The MC looks better than the last 2. Yeah, it's because we married Sari in the last gen, so our heir for this generation lost the blue hair. Okay, so what do you have? Because you do have TP. So you have basic attack techs. I mean, you seem kind of similar to Anna from 2. Hi, Mercavarius. I wonder why the blue hair was gone. It just genetically didn't carry over. Okay, I guess we talked to Loon as well. Not that we've ever really spoken to him before. Chris and Sean are my favourite protagonists design-wise in this game. Oh, cool. Truly, we were the generations of doom. I'm Loon. I once fought in Liar's army. Arachio banished me here almost 1,000 years ago. What I'm learning with this game is that I think everything in this game happened 1,000 years ago. For centuries, I bided my time in cryogenic sleep. I recently awoke and decided to take revenge. But now I regret the trouble I've caused. It's the Algol cycle. Nothing happens at all for 999 years, and everything happens in that 1 year. So he regrets the trouble he's caused, and I guess you now just live on the moon. Cool. I mean, I'm going to assume that we go into this dungeon, I guess. It's another dungeon. And there's a lot of broken floor tiles, so I think we're going to need a map for this one. Wait, Liar found a force gate. Why is Liar first? So let's see, let's put Ren first, then probably Chris. Phantasy Star IV is literally end of the millennium, so 1,000 years mentioned. Oh yeah, definitely vintage, yeah. I think the hair colour thing is definitely trying to differentiate them a bit. I'm guessing the reason Chris has more sort of blondie brown hair is because, I guess, so his father Aim was half lion, and then he married Sari, who was an Iraqian. So that would make him, I think, 1/4 lion. So he's mostly Iraqian. So I guess he goes for the more Iraqian hairstyle and hair colour. Okay, so we've got some enemies that we fought at the start of the game. I mean, sure. Technically, Gen 3 here happens after the events of Phantasy Star IV. Yeah, I've never really thought about where this happens chronologically. I mean, from things I've put together, it seems like it happens quite a bit after Phantasy Star II. But yeah, I don't know where it takes place in relation to 4. Second and third gen leads get their mother's hair colour as well. Yeah, that seems to be the way it works. Okay, so we've got a couple of items there. So we've got a Force Crown and a Force Gear. Are any of those actually worth using? Yeah, obviously anything that relates to Phantasy Star IV, don't spoil it, because I have basically never done 4 all the way through, so I've only played the very beginning of 4, and the last thing I want to do is spoil it. I mean, I've already been spoiled to an extent, like, in that I know what the final boss is, because I have seen YouTube thumbnails that show it, unfortunately. But hopefully I'll still be able to really enjoy the game anyway. Okay, so where am I going here? I Okay, enter the dungeon to the left. Go left and then down. I'm gonna have a Mega Toad. If you understand anything about PSO timelines, you understand how messy timelines can be. It's even worse if you include PSO2 as well. PSO2 timelines. Oof. Good luck with that. I was hoping for a little bit more damage from Kara. He spoiled all of 2 and 3 before playing it and still loved it. For NGS, honestly, I can't remember, Drac. I know they mention in NGS that the first invasion of the Stardust was, I think, about 500 years ago? But that's the first invasion of the Starless. I don't know when the last appearance of, like, Profound Darkness is, so that could be 1,000 years out, maybe. Okay, so what are we actually looking for here? So... I think what we're looking for is a map. Oh, thanks for gifting that sub, Nyakatep. Much appreciated. Enjoy the sub, Chentan. Yeah, thanks very much for that. Oh yeah, we are getting a map for this because this is a very complicated dungeon. Oh my god, it's huge. The map is massive. And a lot of the floor is broken here, so it's going to be interesting trying to navigate this. Recently gone back to PSO due to childhood nostalgia, and your guides have helped immensely. Oh, thanks for that. I'm glad they're useful. That's the whole point, just to try and help people get into the game or, you know, pick it up again. Yeah, thanks again for that gift sub. Really, really, really generous here. It's no Biome Alert. I think Biome Alert is still the most complicated, although to be fair, because I've built Biome Alert in NGS now in my creator space, I kind of know it off by heart now. Okay, so how do I even get to this next chest? Because this is hell. Okay, are we back? Because my internet just dropped off for like a couple of seconds and then came back. So hopefully we're back. Okay, we're back on Twitch side. I think YouTube might have reconnected possibly. Yeah, sorry about that. I literally lost internet for like 2 seconds. But Twitch seems to be very, very sensitive on that. Yeah, at least we're back anyway. I don't know what it is with my internet recently. I've had a few problems with it over the last couple of weeks. Now you can see me. That is, I would say it's a good thing, but it might not be. Need to reload to get the image back, but it's fine now. Ah, cool. Okay, so it says go left and then down. I don't think it's just your interwebs. So go left and down, then go around and head to the top. What does it even mean? That is a lot of enemies. What's really funny though is we're still getting some enemies that we were fighting at the start of the game. They're literally doing 3 damage. Why are you here? We've got like no experience from that really. Yeah, I'm not sure if these guys are just resistant to slicers, but so far, Kara seems very weak. I think they might be damage resistant though because Mew was doing less damage as well. Because it says go around then head to the top. So I assume just up here, I guess. Yeah, Nyakata, I'm glad that the PSO guides have been useful. The whole point of them really was just to try and get more people playing PSO and checking it out. I realised that a lot of people who are getting into Phantasy Star recently are probably coming in through like PSO 2 or PSO 2 NGS. So a lot of people probably haven't even played PSO. So just try and make the game a bit more approachable to get into. Okay, so do we go all the way here? Go around and head to the top. So I guess I have to go this way. For me, it's just really just nostalgia because I had PSO on the Dreamcast. Yeah, I missed the Dreamcast generation, but I started with GameCube. Yeah, I've been playing PSO since about 2003, so I have massive nostalgia for it as well. Okay, so that is the top. Head all the way right. I will say, I think overall these dungeons do seem easier than Phantasy Star 2. I mean, I know I'm using a guide for them, but they seem generally a bit easy to navigate, but there has been a few that have been a bit complicated. This one seems like one of the more complicated ones that I've seen so far. Yeah, I should probably say as well for anyone who is playing PSO, if you are playing on Affinia, the anniversary event should hopefully be next month at some point, which is like the biggest event of the year on Affinia. It is ideal for getting leveled up really quickly. It is ideal for finding rares. So if you are playing on Affinia, that is the time to play. Hi Defco, good to see you. Okay, so go all the way right until you see a chest with something in it. Did install Affinia, currently trying to figure out whether you'll play classic or normal. It's up to you. I mean, I would say that the majority of the player base play normal. I guess you know what the difference is. You know, classic is basically just like the episode 1 and 2 experience, so it works more or less like GameCube PSO. Or GameCube and Xbox. Whereas normal obviously includes all the episode 4 stuff as well. There is upsides and downsides to that. But I would say that particularly if you want to trade with other players or anything, it would probably be quite a lot harder on Classic because there is a lot less people that play it. But I also don't blame people for playing Classic as well because for me, I think GameCube for me is probably my favourite version overall. Downsides of normal. The main issue I've got with like regular gameplay on Blue Burst is it's mainly some of the balancing on some of the gear. there's just some of the episode 4 gear makes some episode 1 and 2 gear just completely irrelevant. So, examples of that is, if you played on GameCube or Xbox, you probably know the God Battle was a really, really useful unit. In Blue Burst, God Battle is kind of pointless because there is Heavenly Battle, which is 20% faster than God Battle. And then there is also V101, which is a Heavenly Battle with built-in stat boosts. So, it's same for some weapons and things like that as well, though there is some gear that's just made kind of irrelevant. But for the most part, I would say playing the full experience of episode 1, 2, and 4 is fun. It's just that, just bear that in mind, there is some gear that's a bit, like you say, power creep, yeah. Okay, I've got Laconian gear. I'm going to assume that's for Ren. Okay, so we'll give that to Ren. We can't because he's full on items, of course. Only played episode 1 when you were a kid, so episode 2 will be new to you. Same for 4. 4's okay. It feels a little bit half-assed to me. But 2's really fun until you get to Ultimate. And then 2 is just painful. Okay, so let's try this again. So Laconian gear, give to Ren. Can you equip that? You can. Yeah, episode 2 is really cool though. It still has my favourite area in the game as well. I think Central Control area is just by far my favourite area in PSO. So we also got a Force Crown and a Force Gear. So Force Gear, again, I'm assuming is for Ren. Force Crown. Who would use Crown? Maybe Laia? Maybe? It is Laia. Cool. Back then, even defeating Dark Falls on normal was painful. I remember my first character was a Raymar that couldn't get through the ruins. Falls is a bit of a difficulty step, when you first do it. Okay, so from here, I want to go a bit below it, and there should be another chest. And another fight, obviously. Yeah, I think the very first time you go through a PSO, and obviously you don't have any hand-me-down gear or anything, there are definitely some difficulty spikes in the game. I think probably the first time you get to Jirole, the Caves boss, he can be a bit of a challenge the very first time you fight him. I think some people forget how difficult that fight can be when you first get to it with a brand new character. We've got Laconian Band. I'm going to assume that's... yeah, that must be for you, surely. I'm not really sure why all the items are going to Laia. Maybe she's the first character with free slots, maybe. Okay, so Laconian Band, does this help? Slightly. It literally gave us like 4 defense. Then you made a default Hugh cast that looks like Unit 1 and it was much easier. Still hard, but legs easier. Hugh cast is very strong. Okay, so hug the bottom after you... So hug the bottom row and go past the first large row. What does that even mean? Okay, just show me a map of where I am so I can try and figure out what this guide means. Basically comes down to whether you meet a certain HP threshold. Yeah, I mean, there are certain attacks in the game that do fixed damage, so there is no way of surviving them unless you have that much HP, so it's just the way the game works, unfortunately. And yeah, I agree, Defcorp. I think that having things like the wiki and, you know, just having people who will help newcomers out, it does help a lot, because it is a game that really doesn't explain much. Okay, so it said hug the bottom, so I kind of get what it means there. And then do we go left? F4 is really more of a filler. Yeah, I'd agree with that. I don't mind F4, but yeah, it does feel a bit half-baked compared to 1 and 2. Okay, so where is this wanting me to go? Again, apologies for the music I'm cutting out. There's nothing I can do about it when I switch tabs, unfortunately. Okay, so we are at the chest with the Laconian band. And we need to get to the aero parts, which is like the worst path possible to get to. So how do we actually get to this chest? Okay, I think I might have figured it out. Or not, because it's actually more complicated than I thought. So it says we need to go to the bottom. Right, how is this phrased? Because the phrasing in this guide has been a bit of a problem at times. Okay, so I think this was the Laconian bandana, I think? Yes, it was, yeah, okay. So from Laconian bandana, we go right and down, apparently. I basically have to like keep cross-referencing between two different guides. I can imagine they expected us to do better to gauge whether they'd officially support in full or use the platform as a means to drive people elsewhere. I mean, I guess Blueburst was just kind of like the final version of PSO, wasn't it? So I guess it was basically just the thing to add a bit more content onto PSO, obviously while they were working on PSU. I think Blueburst's fine for the most part, but yeah, I can see why some people would prefer to play classic mode. Okay, so it says go right and down. And then take the second right, apparently. I'm guessing you mean this, because that's the only way I can go. And go down to the bottom. Yeah, as good as this guide has been, and it has been really helpful for the most part, just some of the directions it gives you are a little bit confusing the way they're written. Yeah, for me with Blueburst, I think the saddest thing about Blueburst was obviously well, twofold really. It was the fact that it separated the servers again. So on GameCube and Xbox, you could go to, American servers, you could go to the European ones, you could go to Japanese servers, and you could just jump between them as you wanted to. On Blueburst, they then split them off again. So Japan had their own servers, which wasn't great. And then the other thing was, obviously, all the data was saved server-side. So when the servers died, you lost everything. I kind of get why they did it because of the amount of rampant hacking that was in the previous versions, but it just kind of sucked when the servers went down, you just lost everything. Slow fights don't help with navigating the area, they really don't. I kind of feel like the reason there are so many fights is to deliberately try and make you forget where you are on the map to make it more confusing. Okay, so we're now down the bottom again. Now it says go left and grab a box. Oh yeah, I mean, private servers were obviously going for quite a while with PSO, and I think the fact that with the way Blueburst worked, I think a lot of people who wanted to play PSO just naturally jumped over to those servers. I am really glad that private servers did pop up for it though, because I can't imagine not being able to play PSO online now. Okay, so this should be a crown. Yeah, so we are going the right way. Good. So then stay on the bottom, and after you go past the large row, take the first path going up. I don't really know what it means by the large row because they're all the same size, but life would have been completely different without private servers. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I've still got PSO on the GameCube, but I can't remember the last time I played that offline. Maybe I would have done more if there wasn't private servers, but honestly, I think a lot of the deal with PSO is that part of the charm of it was playing with other people, so without that, I don't know if I would have found it as enjoyable. Oh, definitely in the Archetype, yeah. I think, obviously, private servers can be hit or miss, depending on how they're implemented, but I think for something like PSO or, like Clementine with PSU as well, they are basically helping to keep that game alive and preserve it. Okay, so is it here it wants me to go, or? No, that leads to a dead end by the looks of things. I love like cross-reference the image and like work out where these little breaks are and using them for reference. Oh yeah, so I think that path north is a dead end. So I want to take the next path I can take north, which is this one, I think. Apologies for having to go back and forwards to the map all the time, but yeah, this is a very complicated dungeon. Oh, being poisoned. I mean, we couldn't go for one stream without being poisoned. I have to say, you have an uncanny knack at being still because the music cuts when you switch windows, and you're so still I get to thinking even my app crashed or Twitch is being Twitch. It's because I'm concentrating so much on the map, you see. I'll just have to start going like that when I switch windows. I mean, we don't need to get rid of that poison yet. But maybe there's a boss fight coming up. So do you know what? I'm going to, just in case. I'm sure we've got some antidotes somewhere. Just in case there's a boss fight, because I'd like to be able to heal him if we need to. Also, actually, probably need to heal Kara, actually. It doesn't help that the mobile app is terrible. I know I tried using the Twitch mobile app before and it was absolutely awful to use. It feels like it's missing half the features you need. Okay, so it should be the next right we take, and this should lead us to the box we need. I like how we get a fight that actually does damage as soon as we heal people. Yeah, I know Twitch has been working on the mobile app recently, but to me it still feels really bad. I can't imagine trying to watch Twitch on it. Although watching Twitch for me is quite annoying at the minute anyway, because again I've got this weird audio issue where for some reason everything on Twitch is way quieter than everything else. I can watch YouTube and it's like volume is totally fine, but then I watch Twitch and the streams are really quiet. And I have no idea why it's like that. Everything else I do on my PC is normal volume. I've checked volume mixes and everything. Everything is the same volume. So I don't know what's going on there. We found an aero part, nice. I'm going to assume we have to actually give that to Ren. We'll give Liar's pendant to Liar because that seems like the right thing to do. Okay, so we've got what we needed to come here for. Now, okay, we can just leave here now, which is good. Do I have another escape? I've got a horrible feeling I don't. I mean, it's fine, we can just walk back, but... I could have sworn we bought two last stream. Maybe I used both. Oh well, I guess we're walking back then. just like Crunchyroll ads, no consistency in volume between whatever you're watching in commercials. 1 second you're just enjoying a show and then you're deafened by Vuvuzela-esque ads blasting so hard you can feel the reverb in your bones. So yeah, so annoyingly we do need to walk back. I mean, I'm hoping I can fly back to where I need to be, because I am on the moon at the minute. Okay, so it was all the way down here. Right, we need map again. So is there just like a nice fast way back? Seems like it. So I think we can just head... Yeah, if we head all the way east... Okay. Yeah, I don't know why it's happened on Twitch. It's only not the last day or two, but I don't know if it's down to Twitch or if it's something on my PC, because my PC also updated recently as well. I seem to have very, very hit or miss experience with Windows 11 updates. What I may try doing is I might just roll back my PC to the previous update and see if that fixes it. If I had a nickel for every time a JRPG sent me to the moon for a main story quest, I'd have 3 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened thrice. I've got to say, I was hoping to see some Newmans on the moon, you know, given Phantasy Star 0, but... Also kind of weird with this game that if this takes place after some of the other Phantasy Stars, kind of weird that there's no Newmans. I guess maybe the implication is that the only experiments were Nair and Nair first in Phantasy Star 2. Maybe they were the only ones. Obviously until 4. So yeah, reminder, when I get back to a town with a shop, the first thing I need to buy is some escapipes to prevent having to do this again. These are the Palmans that fled from Palm when it blew up, and Nair first were unique in Phantasy Star 2. Yeah, I guess so. So in that instance, and again, without spoiling anything for Phantasy Star 4, obviously I know about Rika in Phantasy Star 4 because, you know, I'm aware of Rika's claw in PSO. I know she is a Newman, so they obviously come back in Phantasy Star 4 somehow. So I'm interested to see how that happens.